40, Indiana 6.
All right. Wow, DC3PO really is favoring the Wolverines there for sure. That's a big margin. I don't really see it that big of a margin. I'm going to have to disagree on that one, but I do think Michigan pulls this one out. I don't think they have another letdown this week. Like you said, Harbaugh, he's going to come out and do something that we're not expecting this week. Again, heading into the Ohio State game, his ego, Urban Meyer, their little thing they have going now. So it should be a good one. I think Michigan probably pulls this one out by, like you said, at least a couple, maybe 3 scores. Now, here's the big game. This game, I think, with all the games we've talked about and some of them that we haven't, I still think this game, to me, based on history, based on the SEC, based on these two teams, I think is going to be the game of the week. I think there's going to be big plays. I think on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, we're going to see some stuff on special teams. LSU, Florida. It's always a great game. Florida's got the new quarterback coming in. Del Rio's hurt. Fournette, he's really rolling outside of the Alabama game, but that's, don't count the Alabama game. They do that against pretty much everybody. And really, he had a better game than the numbers showed, I think, in that game. But LSU, Florida, I'm just going to let you have it. LSU, go ahead, let us know.
Well, let's remember that this game is playing right now. Florida should be done with their SEC schedule, but because whatever conspiracy, politics, whatever it is that, to enhance their position in the SEC East, we now have this game today instead of the Sunday after, like every other Florida football team did after Hurricane Matthew.
Right.
So I don't feel any remorse towards Florida. Never will. I'm glad that they get to try to roll into Baton Rouge today at 1 o'clock Eastern on the SEC network to hopefully get a whooping. Outside of the Alabama contest, LSU offense has been rolling for over 300 yards rushing, add another 200 yards passing, and they're averaging almost 600 yards of offense outside of Alabama since Ogeron took over. If Florida loses, the door's open for Tennessee to win out and take the SEC East. If LSU continues to win today, beat A&M on Thursday, they've got an excellent shot to go to the Sugar Bowl, which would be an amazing opportunity considering how the whole program has gone from losing to Wisconsin, losing to Auburn, firing Les Miles, losing to Alabama 10-0 to go to the Sugar Bowl, which for any SEC team has always been the goal because that's where traditionally the SEC champion went. Mm-hmm. But you've got the issue of 2 Purdue transfers, Danny Etling and Austin Appleby, are going to be playing each other. I don't know if I've ever heard or seen that, but that's the landscape that's college football now, and it's kind of funny that 2 former Big Ten retreads are SEC quarterbacks starting in this game that's going to decide a division for Florida and a Sugar Bowl for LSU and maybe even a new coach.
Right.
With Ed Orgeron. I think that the biggest thing is we've seen LSU, nobody has given up fewer touchdowns than LSU in the country. They've only allowed 9. Florida's offense is terrible. They can't run. I doubt they'll be able to pass. And the difference is going to be, can LSU run the football to at least establish some sort of passing game, because regardless of what happened in Alabama, Danny Etling has to do a much better job of hitting those short, medium passes and completing those. But I'm hoping for absolute destruction and demoralizing victory over Florida, as always. I'm going to be eating Gator Cool Boys. I want 35-10. I don't even want Florida to score a touchdown, but DC3PO doesn't have the emotion that we have for that game, but does have LSU 26, Florida 11. with an 84.4% win probability.
All right, I'm going to side with DC3PO. I'm going to side with you, sir, Chris Rupert. I'm going to take LSU today also in a dominating fashion. I told you I was drinking the Kool-Aid earlier in the season. I'm still drinking that Kool-Aid. Go Tigers. I hope they pull it out today for you. And thanks for, again, participating in the DC3PO College Football Kickoff this week. We will talk to you next week, sir.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a good one. All right, that was Chris Rupert from the dirtcannon.com, and that was the DC3PO College Football Kickoff. On the other side of the break, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this situation with Tony Romo. Hey guys, the NFL is back. It's time to win some cash playing fantasy football. The dirtcannon.com is a local company that has your back. They have produced over 60% winners on FanDuel, DraftKings, and now even Yahoo. TheDirtCannon.com will help you build, play, and win. Build a better team with TheDirtCannon.com. Use promo code RDST and get $5 off forever. And try the Silver membership this week for free. Visit TheDirtCannon.com. Definitely check it out. You know, the NFL season is wrapping up faster than we think. It's already, getting ready to be the Thanksgiving Day game next Thursday. So check them out. Win some money before, the season's out. Check out the other stuff they got going on. It's a great, great thing they got going. I've used it so far this year a couple times, and I've had some great results when I did. So appreciate them. They're doing big things, so let's support them and support ourselves at the same time, huh? All right, I got to talk to you guys. I've been thinking about this all week. I've watched the news clips a few times. I've watched the full video, and I'm talking about this Tony Romo situation. Dallas Cowboys quarterback was injured early in this preseason. Cliff Averill hit him. Dak Prescott's had a great season as the rookie who's coming in. There was the footage of Romo apparently mouthing he earned it in last week's game when he was caught on the sideline. There was the speech this week. There was Jerry Jones' sales pitch, which we'll talk about. But here's the thing. We've all seen how this young team has played down there in Dallas. They're playing really well together. You don't want to break that up. You don't want to be the team who had to tell Tony Romo, sorry, you can't play. This is a similar situation to what Denver was in, honestly, last year, when Manning wasn't playing that well. He did have an injury, and you had to put him on the bench. Now, the difference in the situations are, unless Dak falters down the stretch or gets injured, they're not going to turn it back over to Romo for the Super Bowl stretch. So that puts it similar to what his situation was with Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe got hurt. He was out for a while. Tony Romo was playing much better. He was younger. They turned the team over to Tony Romo. Well, the thing that got me about the speech, the thing that got me about the decision and the way it went down was the way the Cowboys handled it. To me, that speech was very forced. It wasn't sincere from the point of this is my thoughts and these are my words. It came across as he was the PR for the team. He was shouldering it for the team. And mad respect for Tony Romo for doing that. It takes a big man to go stand up there and give your job away because the team has told you it's no longer yours, but they don't want to be the ones to have to say that. They think that it made him look better. They think that it makes them look good because it's not coming from them. Well, read between the lines. Take out the what everybody thinks was emotion and really was like anger or just unpleasantness about the situation. Because face it, he did want to compete for his job. We have seen that been reported. He did come back and say, I want to compete for the position, and he was told, no, you can't. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep rolling. Everything's working good right now. We don't want to, change that up. And why would you? They're playing great. You don't want to change that up, barring, like I said, injury or just a lack of anything down the stretch, in which case you have a great situation right now with Romo on the bench. But to put your player who's done so much for your team in a position like that, so that he has to go out there in front of the media because your coach and your GM owner don't have the cojones to do it themselves and say, look, we're going to stick with Dak. Tony's going to be our backup. And yeah, there was one report I read that said Jerry Jones had said Romo was going to be a backup and that they were going to stick with Dak Prescott. But to have him have that news conference, to make him go, you know what, I'm turning over my team because I got injured. And then to come back out a couple days later, and here's the speech I was talking about, sales pitch from Jerry Jones, and start talking about how he's got 5 or 6 years left, and he's definitely going to quarterback a Super Bowl team. And, oh, no, I don't have any intention of him not being a Cowboy. I don't have any intentions. That doesn't mean it won't happen. In fact, that really means that, yes, he's available. It's going to cost you because I still think he's this good. And apparently he's signed through 2019, so you're also buying into whatever contract he currently has if you do go ahead and trade for him. Now, do I think Romo is a Cowboy next season? Romo's a Cowboy next season if Dak Prescott gets injured to a point that he can't play until late next season. Like, it would have to be something bad. And then Romo would have to do very well in the offseason or in the postseason. Then sure, he's a Cowboy next year. Outside of that horrible scenario, no. I think he's traded. We've talked about various teams. It started with 2 or 3 teams. There's now an article on Fox Sports by Andre Vergara, 8 teams that should risk everything and go after Tony Romo. Some of the teams on this list are pretty interesting. He's got Chicago. We talked about that situation. We know they're not sticking with Jay Cutler. Buffalo, because they may not pick up Tyrod Taylor's option for next year because it's $27.5 million for his option next year, so he could be out the door. That could be a potential landing spot for Romo. I don't know that he would want to end his career with a team that's so inconsistent. We talked about Denver. He has Denver on his list. I think that would be a good situation for the end of Romo's career. We all know Steve Young had the option to come to Denver to finish his career after his concussion and injury situations, and he chose to go ahead and retire a 49er instead. They've got Cleveland on the list. Again, that'd be great for Cleveland. I don't really know that that's what Romo wants to be a part of, is their whole big rebuilding process. I'm watching a scuffle right now between LSU and Florida players. The 49ers. Kaepernick's probably out the door. He's not playing all that great. We'll see if he has a job next year. Jacksonville, the Jets, L.A. So those are all teams on his list. And, I hope the best for Romo. I really do. But it's a bad situation. I don't believe the speech. I really think that was something the organization had him do to kind of handle the situation. And again, all respect for Romo for doing that and being able to sit there and go, you know what, I'll shoulder it. I'll be the leader once again for this team. I'll do what this team needs and say, I'm turning it over. And we're going to ride Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott and go with the youth. And they're playing good. And all the compliments he had, good for you, Tony Romo. That's what your team needed. They needed you to be a leader, and you stepped up and did that. All right, man. That's the show. That's what we got this week, guys. Get at me on the text line. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Check out the GoFundMe page. We're trying to, get some better equipment going and really build this thing out and keep it growing and keep talking sports. Until next time, everybody, enjoy your college football. We'll get at you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., with Jeremy Cunningham doing Cunningham's Picks. Until next time, be real.